California rise.
Madam Speaker, I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will report the amendment.
Amendment offered by Ms. Hahn of California. Page 20, line 5, after the dollar amount, insert increase by $50 million. Page 22, line 23, after the dollar amount, insert reduced by $100 million.
Gentlewoman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's time that we begin to allow Americans to ease off their dependence of oil and give them a real alternative. You know, every day we see the damage done by our dependence on oil. We see high gas prices threatening our economic recovery and burdening families already struggling to make ends meet. We see higher respiratory disease rates, and we see any number of distant regimes holding our foreign policy hostage, weakening our ability to stand by our principles and our friends. I think it's time for us to throw off these burdens and step into the future, not double down on the dependencies of the past. And yet somehow this bill allocates almost 5 times more funding to deepening and extending our relationship with fossil energy than it does on advancing energy efficiency and clean, renewable energy technologies. One of the most promising and necessary things we can do is to give Americans an alternative to oil, is to speed our transition to electric vehicles. Passenger cars alone use more than 40% of the oil consumed in this country. And by 2020, the National Resources Defense Council estimates Americans will spend $260 billion a year on gas. Just think of what we stand to gain from helping Americans switch to electric vehicles. The technology is here, and all we need to do is implement it. My amendment would help us begin to make the kind of investments on the scale of the opportunity before us requires, giving $50 million to the Department of Energy's Energy Efficient and Renewable Energy section. I drive an electric vehicle back in Los Angeles, and I haven't been to a gas station since last September. Unfortunately, I don't get to drive as far as I want to because we haven't yet built the electric vehicle charging infrastructure that would help electric vehicle owners continue to drive as far as they want. The range anxiety of not being able to find a charging station when the battery goes low means that many EV drivers don't drive as far as they can, and many prospective electric vehicle owners are scared off. That's why we need to get serious about addressing the barriers to the adoption of electric vehicles. Later this year, Nissan will be making the Leaf their electric vehicle right here in America in Tennessee. And just last month, the Department of Energy announced they were offering $5 million to spur electric vehicle adoption, seeking proposals that address barriers to the adoption of these vehicles and drive market development and transformation to make alternative fuel vehicles and fueling infrastructure widely available. We need to be bolder. We ought to have 100 times that much here. But I know my friends on the other side are a little timid about electric vehicles, so I'm only proposing 10 times as much. I've even reduced the budgetary authority of this bill by $50 million because I know how much my Republican friends like to cut spending. But with the right investments and electric vehicle infrastructure, we can clean our skies, free our foreign policy, strengthen our hand with regimes like Iran, and put money lost at the pump back into the pockets of American consumers. Madam Chair, I hope my colleagues on the other side will meet me halfway on this. Meet Americans halfway. I hope you'll support this amendment. This is about jobs in America. This is about giving our American consumers an alternative to their sole dependence on oil. Thank you very much. I yield back my time.
Back. What